So today we're going to be looking at AeroGrow International, and the reason why I find this company somewhat interesting is because it's indirectly related to the marijuana industry. It can provide you with the proper supplies to grow your own plants, and whenever legalization takes place and you're allowed to grow your own plants in states like California and in countries like Canada that have pretty significant populations, then a company like this might benefit heavily because people will actually buy these fairly expensive setups to actually grow your own crops. Currently, they're not making that much money because not a lot of people are going to buy these expensive setups to actually grow their stuff. But once the legalization of marijuana takes place, then that might change. But over the past 5 years, as you can see, around when Colorado did their legalization, this stock flew up because everybody thought that everybody would be growing their own plants, and eventually, after it hit its peak, it just fell back down to earth over the next few years, and you could have gotten it for a dollar if you were lucky. It went up a little bit right before the election, and now it's falling back down. So it's kind of a roller coaster with the stock, but you could have made money if you got in at proper locations. Anyways, let's look at the financials. By the way, this is their website. Not the best looking website that I've ever seen, but it's good enough, I suppose. Anyway, so this is their financials over the past few years. Their revenues have been going up, and they have minimized the losses from the company. They're not bleeding out money anymore, which is good, but they're still not making any profit, which is not good. So here's the actual statement. This is from February 7th, apparently, 2017. Somewhere around the time. So they currently have $57.7 million in assets, which is pretty good. Their market cap is 90 million, so that's a reasonable price for the stock. It is a little bit high, in my opinion, but I'll get to that in a little bit later. So in terms of profits, they had a gross profit of 4.8 million, but after their operating expenses, it was 600,000, which is not bad. But after some other expenses, including some of these derivative warrants that they had, they ended up losing 639,000 for the 3 months ended in December. It's not great, but it's also not terrible. This company isn't burning through cash like crazy and just losing money all over the place, so that's good. They could potentially reverse this fairly quickly in the future if their products start taking off for whatever reason. There's a lot more here. I'm not going to go into most of it. I skimmed through this and kind of summarized, but there's nothing too special around here, at least nothing that I could tell. But if you want, you can go through these pages. You can find this report on their website under investing. It's over here. So Scott's Miracle-Gro owes 28% of this company, and they also supply them with money. They give them the loans that they need, which is good. And in the future, there's potential that Scott's Miracle-Gro will just take over the entire company, and that would be fine. But it's good that they have a fairly big company kind of taking an interest in them, or at least supplying them with some sort of financials in order to grow their business. So that's good. But other than that, there's anything extra. I mean, these guys aren't exactly doing anything that's too difficult to comprehend. They're just selling some pretty nice equipment in order to grow the plants that you want to grow. And personally, I think that currently a $90 million market cap is a little bit too high for this company. I think that it's going to keep falling a little bit, and maybe 2 or 3 months before the next year, before 2018, before the states are going to have to, before the deadline approaches for legalizations for some of the states like California, which, I mean, California has 38 million people, so obviously once the legalization goes through, then this company should benefit at least somewhat. But 2 or 3 months before the legalization, I think that this company will start reversing, or if the Canadian news of legalization comes out, whenever that will be, this company might also go up a little bit. But I don't see any reason to invest into it now. I mean, it's kind of falling down, and you don't really want to try to catch a falling knife. So just wait around a little bit if you want to invest into this. Wait until some news comes through, or just wait until it's closer to the end of the year to actually throw some money into it, and they could potentially double, maybe triple, if you catch it at the right time. But once again, it's going to take a while before this part of the industry comes into place. You know, the first part will be the actual, the first part, everybody will just, you know, the stigma needs to kind of go away, because marijuana still has some of a shady stigma around it. So once the stigma goes away and people are more open about it, a company like this might be good, because then people will actually buy these things, put them in their houses, and, you know, grow whatever they want to grow. And then it will be a little bit more interesting, because the market for this is fairly high, and, you know, an $80 million company can double or triple without a problem. I do think that it will fall, though, in the future a little bit more, because their current profits are nothing impressive. And if we look at these graphs, come on, it's been 4 years and you guys are still losing money. They're getting more revenue, but you got to gain those profits as well. They're not losing money, but they're still not making money, so we'll see. But that's pretty much all that I really have to say about this. Interesting stock. We'll see where it goes in the future.